My name's Attorney Dana Smith. I'm an attorney here at Ward Law Group in Manchester, New Hampshire. I handle family law, personal injury, workers' compensation, landlord-tenant. Family law is pretty much anything involving your husband, wife, children, those types of things. So if you have an issue with, you want to go get a divorce, that would kind of encompass family law. If you have a parenting plan with the father of your child, and you're having an issue with it, you want to modify the parenting plan. That falls under family law. If you are divvying up assets, if you are doing some sort of guardianship, those are all kind of fall under the big mantra of family law. So a parenting plan is essentially it's a document that's ordered by the court that kind of dictates what happens with the child between two parties. So it determines who gets the child on what holidays, on birthdays, what the normal routine schedule looks like. So who has the child, Monday through Friday or on what weekends. It looks at what the residence for school purposes is. Basically, anything that you could think of that may relate to a child at any point, the parenting plan covers that. And it's very important to have in these types of cases because if there is no parenting plan, there's not really much that the police could ever do if there was anything that was to ever happen. So, for example, I had a case in the past where there was a woman who her husband had taken her former husband had taken the child out of state and went to the police and said, hey, we have a child. I'm supposed to have parenting time this weekend. And it didn't happen. And the police said, unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do because this is a civil matter. You need to go to the court and you need to get a parenting plan put in place. The parenting plan is what dictates everything. If you go to the police and something was to ever happen, or the child didn't come home at a certain time when they were supposed to, the police are going to want to see the parenting plan. And if you don't have that, there's not really much that they can do. So the parenting plan is really important. That if you and your the father of your child or mother of your child no longer are together, or you're divorced or you split up, it's really important to get something like that put in place because you never really know what could happen or if your relationship could deteriorate or kind of what happens from that point. And I always advise clients, I get a lot of times I'll talk to clients and they'll say, well, we get along really well, me and the mother of the child or the father of my child. We get along really well. We don't really have a need for a parenting plan. And I always say, that's the perfect time to get a parenting plan because when you guys are getting along, that's the time to try to get something in writing where you guys will have something that'll kind of dictate the future actions or kind of what happens with the child from that point going forward because you guys are amicable and you're working together. If it's you wait until you guys are down each other's throats or you're no longer able to work together, you're going to have a long drawn out court process with multiple mediations. It's going to cost thousands and thousands of dollars to pay for a family law attorney to do it. If you have the ability now where you guys are able to work together and figure that type of situation out, call an attorney now. You'll save yourself some money. You can have a parenting plan in place that'll kind of dictate the future. It's nice for you because then you have something in writing that if there's ever any question about kind of where the child's supposed to be today, where does Max go for Thanksgiving? Those questions will all be figured out as part of the parenting plan. So I always advise clients, if at all possible, get a parenting plan and stick to it if you can.